Hey everybody, it's your girl Nefarious, and today we are going to sew along together on the Colty. It is a cute crossbody messenger bag. We have a unique way of making D-rings and connecting them. It is small, handy, and again, it's another one of those great bags. It's a blank slate and you can bring your own creativity to. This bag measures about 11 inches wide, about 8.5 to 9 inches tall, and 4 inches at the bottom. So this is fun, quick, and beginner friendly. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, general tools that I am going to be using include my awl, some double-sided tape. I've got multiple sizes here. I've got 1/8, 1/4, and 1/2 inch. I've got marking tools. I've got various ones. I've got a pair of snips. I've got an X-Acto knife. I've got a turning tool. Got my lighter, just in case. A ruler, this is from More Me Know. I've got my rivet guide. Got my hole punch. And I've got my clips, just in case. I kind of was like, I'm missing something here. These are my general tools that I'll be using throughout my video. For the Colty, we are going to need a bottom gusset panel and the bottom gusset lining. I'm starting with this first because I do want to highlight that these are not going to be the same size. That is correct. The exterior gusset lining should be a little bit bigger, just a smidge though. Then you are going to need your 2 D-ring connectors. You are going to need your back panel and your back panel lining. You are going to need your front panel and your front panel lining. Then you are going to need your front flap and your front flap lining. So we are going to go ahead and jump right on into this. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to get our front flap lining. Right off the bat, you should probably have some Peltex or some Decorative, a little bit of stabilizer for the magnets. I'm not using any stabilizer or anything like that for this bag tutorial, except for where the magnets will be. And the reason for it is just because I want the magnets to hold on a little bit better than what they do traditionally. So I will just be using Polyester, which is just, you know, I'm not going to be ironing it on. My iron is still apparently under the weather, so no big deal. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find the centers. I would just go ahead and just tell you, find the centers of all your pieces, both tops and bottoms on your gusset. Do it on both sides of your gusset. It's going to save you so much time. Then on your front flap, the side that's got the curves, you want to find the center and then make a mark about 1.5 inches in from the center. All right. Now this is completely preference, but I personally like to stick the male end on the flaps. I don't know why, I just do. I'm going to line my washer up and I'm going to grab a marking tool, like so. And then I'm going to use a seam ripper to go ahead and slice those holes open. Now, I'm going to do the same thing on the Peltex, my Profuse Stiff. Just going to slice those holes. I'm going to take the male end. I'm going to slide it through here. Slide my Peltex on, slide my washer on, and then this is again also preference. Some people like to push the bars away from each other. Some like to make them hug. I will make these hug each other. And then to protect the exterior, or I'm sorry, to protect the rest of the material, I like to use duct tape to keep that from rubbing on the other side. After I do that, I'm going to take the front flap and this lining, and I'm going to put them right sides together. I'm going to set that to the side. Then I'm going to take my front panel. I'm going to flip it over. You should have found the centers. And then from the top or the bottom, you need to find 4 1/4 and make a dot. Once you do that, you will use your washer to make the other 2. Also do the same thing on my Peltex. And then I will use my seam ripper to make those holes. And then I will install the female end on this side, followed by the Peltex, followed by the washer, at which point they will now hug. And then I top it all off with a piece of duct tape. Alright, I'm going to take our bottom gusset. I'm sure you have caught on by now that I really like to just get a bunch of stuff ready to go to the machine at one time, and this is no different. I'm going to line up right sides together, the center pieces on the bottom. Now, what you will find is that depending on the artwork that's used, in the past there have been like book pages that you want to make sure you're lining up. So this is a smidge taller than this panel. It's about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch taller than this panel. And it was designed that way so that the pages would line up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just measure about 1/4 of an inch taller, and I'm going to clip my panel there. And then I will do the same thing over here. Roughly 1/4 of an inch taller, and clip it in place. And then I'm just going to go around and I'm going to clip till we get right here on the curves. I will use a pair of snips to generously snip around that curve. And you want it to lay nice and flat. And you're going to do the same thing over here on this gusset, or this part of the gusset. Oop, I need some more clippies. So this is ready. I'm going to set it to the side. Then I'm going to take our lining piece and our gusset, or our interior lining piece. I'm going to do the exact same thing. All right, so going to the machine includes the lining piece, the exterior piece, and the flap. So let's go on and head over to the machine. So I lied, we're not quite going to the machine yet, but we are going to go there quite soon. We need to prepare our D-rings. Now we're going to do our D-rings a little bit different. So typically in the old days, we would just draw a line down it, put some tape, and just go, right? Not today. So today, we're going to do our traditional draw line right down the center. And then we are going on both ends to draw a 1/2 inch line. Now, this next line that I draw, completely optional. It's just to help if you want to see it. It's 1 inch from the short end. That line is completely optional. You do not have to draw that line if you don't want to. All right. Now, in these 4 corners, we need to draw another 1/2 inch line from the edge. As you can see, now we are exactly the same on both these pieces. We're going to use our scissors, and we are just going to cut out those 1/2 inch boxes that we just made. From here, we are now going to make a snip. We're going to cut from this corner down to the end of that dotted line. That's all we're going to do next. We're going to snip that off. So there's that one. And there's that one. Now I'm going to be using some pretty copious amounts of tape here. You can use quarter inch double-sided tape. I seem to be missing mine at the moment, so I'm going to be using 1/2 inch tape to do this. We're going to see how well this works. And then, so the say a little prayer for me, that's what I need right now. So it's going to look a little bit like this. I'm going to take the backing off, maybe, if I can. Just going to take all the backing off. Now I'm going to fold the top of this to that dotted line. Top of this to that dotted line. Then I'm going to take these edges And just like traditional D-rings that we've made in the past, I'm going to line that up with that center line, just like that. I am gonna clip that one, seems to be misbehaving. So that's what that's going to look like, and we'll take that to the machine. And now we can take those to the sewing machine. For the D-rings, we are going to keep our threads long. We're going to start in the middle. We're going to go all the way around, all the way down, come back, pull our strings to the back, tie them off, and singe them. We're going to do that for both of them. Whoops, got a little singy there. All right, I'm gonna set those to the side. For the lining and the flap, I'm going to backstitch at the beginning and the end. I'm leaving the top completely open. I'm not stitching that down because I want to turn it out. So I'm just going to backstitch and give this a stitch. I will go ahead and pinker these curves. May not be necessary, but old habits die hard. I'm going to flip this out. We are going to top stitch all the way around at 1/8 of an inch, and then I'm going to base stitch this closed. I'm going to set that to the side. On the exterior, starting at the top, I'm going to backstitch at the really good at the beginning and the end at 1/4 inch, going all around, taking my time around the curves, making sure we don't get no ripples. I'm going to do the exact same thing to this lining. All I'm doing is making sure that it's stitched really good at the beginning and the end. Now we go back to the table. What you want now is your back panel and your finished flap, making sure that your centers are very clear on both of them. You're going to put exterior to exterior, or right side versus right side, and you're going to line those centers up. Just like that. And what we are going to do is just stitching the flap at 1/8 of an inch all the way down. Just base stitching. just the flap. I'm going to go do that and I'll be right back. Once you get the flap attached, just like this, we are going to attach the exterior to the back panel, just like we did previously. So I'm just going to match up the centers. Okay. On the back of this lining, I'm going to give myself a little bit of wiggle room because we have to turn our bag through. I'm going to show you here. So on the bottom of this bag, you can see where it goes from like a curve to a line. Kind of point, there's like a little bit of a point there. I'm drawing a line about 1 inch from where that point starts. So that gives us a turning hole roughly, of roughly 6 1/4 inches, which should be enough. After we do that, we are going to do the exact same thing, except remember, we are not going to be sewing this part of the bag on yet. So I'm just going to clip it for now, and then I'm going to, exactly like we did earlier, got the 1/4 inch hang over there. Quarter inch hang over there, and now I'm just going to go through and clip the sides. I'm going to use scissors through here. Scissors through here. So remember, I'm going to transpose these lines over. We are going to stitch 1/4 inch all the way around, but I'm going to back stitch really good here. I am not going to sew across this bottom, and I'm going to do it again all the way up top, and this is going to be our turning hole. So I'm going to take these 2 pieces to the sewing machine. I'll go ahead and start with the lining. Turning hole, ready to go. What I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and snip that part off so it's going to be nice and flat. I'm going to go ahead also now and turn this bag out. I'm going to set this to the side for right now, so I can focus on finishing the exterior. It's going to be 1/4 inch. Just be careful not to sew the flap. So as you can see, nice and pretty. I am now going to go cut that excess off. All right, now we want to make sure that our flap is in the bag. Then we are going to stick our lining in the bag. So essentially you're going to have like all the pretty sides touching each other. And now you're going to use your landmarks. So your centers are all going to line up. And then you're going to use your corners. Make those corners go away from each other. So it stays put. So that's what we look like so far. And now I'm going to go around the top and I'm going to stitch that at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You are welcome to do a bigger seam allowance if you so choose. I am using a 1/4 inch. Now, if you have seen any of my other videos, you know that at this point what I'm going to say. This is a vinyl and waterproof canvas bag, and heat is going to make it a lot more pliable. So I'm going to use my blow dryer, and I'm going to heat this up, and I'm going to turn this bag out, inside out, or right side out. Right. I'm going to push this lining back in the bag. And we are going to roll it so that we can do our top stitching. Now to top stitch, I will leave my threads long so that I can pull them through and tie off, because I feel like that makes them look a little bit nicer. If you have issues getting it to roll the way you want it to, you can always stick your hand in the bag. I don't sew the pocket closed until we are at the point that we've already got this top stitch and we are ready to like say this bag is finished. So I'm going to start my top stitch in the back. I'm going to go around, pull my threads through, and tie it. So now I'm going to fold this over. Then I'm going to Then I'm going to stitch 1/8 of an inch, back stitching at the beginning and the end, securing and closing our hole. Push this in. Now, there's only one step left, and that is put our D-rings on. So let's go to the table. All right, so now we have to attach our D-rings. What we need to do is go ahead and just, let's fold our D-rings in half. You want that seam to be in the back. All right. Now, if you have a rivet guide, you can use a rivet guide, or you can absolutely just eyeball it, which is what I am going to do. I'm going to put it about 1/4 of an inch, almost 3/8 of an inch up from the bottom. I'm going to put a clip here, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, making sure the sides are lined up. And I'm going to pop a hole in these. And for now, I will slide a D-ring on, just so it's holding its place. There's that. Now for this bag, you absolutely could have attached the D-rings prior to sewing this bag together. Absolutely. The way the bag was designed was that it would go over the edge and then be riveted on. So that's what I am showing you how to do. What we are going to do is we are going to find the center, and then I'm going to make a mark 1/2 inch down. So roughly in here. So right there. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Find the center, 1/2 inch down. So just like that. And then I'm going to use my hole punch to punch that hole out. So you use your rivet to go all through those holes, and then you will secure the other side just like that. And then using your cam press or however you want to secure your rivet, it goes down like that. I will do it again. Got my rivet. I'm going to go through one hole, goes through 2 holes, all the holes, add the cap, and then set. So that's how you attach the rivet or the D-rings. Hey everybody, I want to thank you for sewing along with me today on the Colty. It was so much fun to do this really quick bag. It's a blank slate, so I can't wait to see what everybody makes. Make sure you're posting those makes in the K&A Custom Fabrics Facebook groups, and make sure you tag me, your girl Nefarious. I want to see all your makes. I'm super excited to see them there and out in the wild. So for now, have a great one and ta-ta!